BYD is definitely the hidden king in the EV industry, and it's a much safer stock at the moment and is getting much less attention than other companies such as Li Auto, as example, Xiaopeng or NIO. My name is Chris. As usual, super happy to see you here, and with no further ado, let's jump right into it. In my opinion, BYD is a much safer stock at the moment because mainly of three big reasons. First of all, the company is very profitable for many years already. Second of all, it is a well-diversified company, even outside of the EV space. And third of all, it is a proven company. It's not some kind of small new startup that nobody knows what exactly is going to happen. So it has high sales in its cars, and it's a proven company. With that said, let's jump right into the first reason, and that is profitability. So BYD has been profitable for many years, and the profitability is indeed still increasing. And we can see that in the last quarter, they reported a net profit in renminbi of 5.7 billion. And that is up 350% from the same quarter last year. That's stellar growth. And that of course is mainly coming from the revenue growth. And also here we see they reported 117 billion renminbi in revenue, and that is up 115% from the same period last year. So the company is growing extremely good, and they have been growing extremely good for a decade now. So we can see that both revenue and net profits are growing very strong for BYD, and that's important, especially the net profit side, because a lot of other companies out there that are in the EV space are taking losses quarter over quarter, endless losses, and BYD is not one of them. It's a stable business. Looking a bit deeper into revenues, we see that in June 30th of 2010, they reported a revenue of 1.7 billion, and that has grown in the last 12 years to 17 billion dollars of revenue. So they have been growing revenue consistently. Also net profit, it's the same picture. Have a look at this. In 2010, they reported a net profit of 360 million, and that has grown over the last 12 years again, all the way to 1.5 billion dollar. So consistently, for a decade, almost a decade and a half, consistent revenue growth and profit growth. So hats off for BYD. Very good performance. Additionally to that, BYD is also free cash flow positive. And if you're subscribed to the channel and if you've watched previous videos of mine, you'll know that I love to invest with free cash flow. And BYD is a shining star for that. Have a look at it. They had net cash flows from operating activities of 91 billion renminbi, and they used some of that money for capex. So it's written a little bit different here, but that is basically capex of 64 billion renminbi, and that leaves us with a free cash flow of roughly 25 billion renminbi, and that is just fantastic. It's very good. So they're profitable, growing profitability, revenue is growing, and they're free cash flow positive. So BYD is definitely a financial powerhouse. Revenues there, profits are there, and free cash flow are there. Three of my most important things when I invest. Jumping over to the second point, diversity. We can see how diversified BYD is looking at that picture. So they don't only have their regular EV cars, but they also got, some kind of buses, EV buses, right? They also got the trucks, even like heavy duty trucks in the back. So it's really a very diversified business. And the good thing about this diversification is that it's not only diversified in China, but they are really also diversifying abroad. They're operating in over 60 countries. And as example, just recently here, they got awarded 64 unit e-buses in Norway, so they can deliver those buses to Norway. Norway uses it in their infrastructure. So that's really good diversification, because even if a country or two, or some countries drop into recession or they can't pay stuff anymore, they are still diversified abroad with different companies, with different countries and so on. So that's a diversity I want to see. It's not just one market, one product. And my third reason for today why I believe BYD is a good investment is because it's a product proven in the market. It's not just some kind of new startup that nobody knows what's going to happen with it. In fact, they have already sold over 3 million EV cars, and that is a staggering number, and only challenged by a few other EV companies out there, such as example Tesla, who sold I think roughly around 3.2 million EV cars. So Tesla and BYD are in fact very, very close in the numbers of cars they've sold so far. And I believe that, after you're selling 3 million cars, you have some kind of an insight into the market, and you know what customers want, and you know where the trends are going to. And that gives an advantage to companies such as Tesla and BYD. Of course, also with that comes some form of economies of scale. And we can see that those are probably one of the reasons why Tesla and BYD are profitable, because their cost is shared by so many vehicles that they're selling. And that's why at some point they can actually reach profitability. So those are 3 really important points from my opinion: profitability, diversification, and proven market records. I believe BYD is the hidden king of EVs. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe.